Hey everybody, welcome back. Northernlion plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. This is spicy. The start of the video had a burp primed instantaneously. Not cool. Not cool. Alright, we'll be playing Azazel again. Rather than be upset, oh shucks, oh no. CSW719ST. Rather than being annoyed that I got Azazel 2 times in a row, let's take this as an opportunity to redeem ourselves for kind of almost sort of losing that Azazel run last time. It would be nice. And I'll have you know, by the way, I decided after much diagnosis I was under-caffeinated, even though it's 5:11 p.m., which to somebody with a newborn baby is really like almost 1 or 2 a.m. Like, especially, maybe it's a little different if you have your newborn, like, you know, in the spring, and then when they're 3 months old, it's like the summertime, and the sun's up till like 9 p.m., but with the sun going down here at like, I mean, I don't know what the legal definition of sunset is, but usually it starts to get dark here at like, maybe like 4:30, starts to, it's definitely not at the midday, let's put it that way, when it's 4:30, which is literally true. But what I mean by that is, see, what I was trying to say is that, like, you know at 4:30 that it's not noon. You're not confused about what time it is. You're like, sun's getting real low. But I do think, this might be like a latitude thing, maybe. But I feel like in Vancouver, the sun sets really late in the summertime. Like after daylight savings time ends. Hold on. Out of all of these, I mean, I don't know, maybe. I feel like the sun sets really late here in the summer. Like, people always remark, they're like, it's 9:30 and it's still bright out. It's pretty sweet. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, like, because I have a newborn. Everything's so hard for me, you wouldn't understand what it's like to have a newborn. Oh, you just worked an 18-hour day? Oh, I just hit the fool card by accident. And then I walked back in here for no reason. Must be because of the brain fog from having a newborn. Oh, you worked a 12-hour day at the hospital? Wah. I changed 4 diapers today. Basically what I'm saying is, wait, what was I saying? Anyway, regardless, I don't know. I forgot what I was talking about. Hey, we're having a real one here today. We're gonna try to win with Azazel. That's what I'm trying to say. Mini Monstro is pretty good. It does feel late though. I think it's also because like I've been on this new streaming schedule, so like just due to the way that like today shook out, I ended up being able, not having to, but being able to do a little extra recording, but the recording came at like a time of day that's a little bit later. It's funny how that like affects your perception, you know? Like in August, before we had the baby, 6 a.m. was like a time of the day that only existed to me if I had to like take a flight in the morning. You know, if I had a flight that left at like 8:30 a.m., I had to be up at like 5:30 or 6 or something like that. Help me. I had to be up at 5:30 or 6 or something like that. That's like the only time 6 a.m. existed for me in a solipsistic sense, or a solipistic sense, a Salamanca sense, is if I was like in a taxi, right? I know it's a strange thing to say, but just go with me here. Now, when I wake up at like 6:30 a.m., I'm like, hey, baby had like a pretty good night. Not the best night, but it's like, you know, I'm used to waking up when it's kind of dark outside. The flip side of that is like, when 11 p.m. rolls around, I'm like, what the heck? This is, this is absurd. 11 p.m.? And then I'll like see like cars driving outside. And I'm like, you're driving right now? It's 11. Are you crazy? Go home. It's, I mean, it is also like the, you know, there's the pandemic. So, I mean, people have got to drive, like, at all times, I suppose. But yeah, you are kind of like, where are you coming from and where are you going to? But, like, There is a lot less traffic now than there was, you know, like a year and a half ago, without a doubt. But anyway, the whole point is not like, wow, look at the fact that there's people outside. The whole point is like, it really changes your perspective for sure. I remember, like, as a kid, I feel like you inherit your dinner time and the patterns from your parents. You don't inherit it genetically. You inherit it, like, you know, because you live under their roof for a while. You know, you get their habits, and that's why, like, anytime, if you ever want to have like an argument, just ask a large group of people what time you're supposed to eat dinner at. You'll hear all sorts of stuff. Dinner starts at 4:30 so that you can have like a nap after. You don't have to eat dinner until 11, then you can go to bed right after. Oh, well, you know, dinner happens at 4:30 and then supper happens at 8. And you're like, what? I'm pretty sure those are like the 2 words for the same thing. Everybody's got their own belief on when like dinner is, which is we haven't settled yet, you know? We haven't settled yet. I definitely will say I think that, you know, as you get older, your dinner time tends to get earlier. It's always we're speaking wistfully here in the pre-pandemic times, but you know, when I would visit my parents, it's always a struggle. You know, Kate and I are used to eating dinner at like maybe 8 p.m. Pacific time. We go to the Eastern time zone. My parents want to eat dinner at like 4:30, which is like 1:30 Pacific time. So when we're jet lagged, they're like, hey, it's the early afternoon. You want to eat like an enormous meal of meat and starches? And I'm like, well, yeah, but like, kind of doesn't sit right. This is a tough one. I'm just like, the run is pretty good right now, obviously, without a doubt. The flip side of it is we have like that classic problem with Azazel, which is our HP is not amazing, and we have to get up close and personal with the enemies. I guess we don't, you know, I've got myself tricked into thinking we gotta get up close and personal with these enemies, but we really don't. You know, as a result, why shoot the fires? That would take 2 seconds. Ain't nobody got time for that. Am I right, fellow memers? Instead, let's just fly in between them. And don't even take a second to think about it, just send it, man. Are you silly? I'm just gonna freaking send it. That's alright, I can live with that. But yeah, dinner time, man, it's wild. There are very few chat discussions that I just roll my eyes at. Like, I think we as a society have done a really good job of getting over the, like, is a hot dog a sandwich debate. There were years, genuinely years, and it didn't stop until very recently, unfortunately, but there were years where every time I signed into Twitter, I would have, like, maybe? This is good. I think this is good, and I think we're willing to lose some bone hearts here, in order to up our rate of fire. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh give me another one. Oh yeah. Okay, we've basically doubled our DPS. That's pretty solid. But there were years where every time I signed into Twitter, people would tweet me. There's like 6 things that people tweet me. Okay, one is like, when Jeff from Community pretends to be the dean, so he dresses up in a bald cap, people go, what? Rewatching Community, I didn't realize my favorite egg is in this episode. I don't mind it, you know, when people say, like, you know, Joel McHale in a bald cap kind of looks like you. It's actually kind of complimentary, you know, Joel McHale's a handsome guy, partly because of his hair, I recognize, but either way, you know, he's in good shape. I don't take offense to that, but once you've seen it, like, and fake laughed at it, like, 5 times, you're kind of like, you know, oh, okay, moving on. There's, what, you egg? He stabs him, which I guess is from, like, a Shakespearean play. And then, I'm trying to think about what the other ones are, but certainly there's this very cursed image of, like, somebody cut a bagel in half, but not the way you would normally cut a bagel in half to put it in the toaster, but in the way that you would, like, cut a pizza, you know what I mean? Like, cut along a different axis, and then they, like, spread peanut butter and jelly along it, and then put it back together, and then people would go, is this a sandwich? And I'm just like, dude, I gotta, like, I can't live my life like this. Like, it was really like an almost moment of existential crisis when you're getting tweeted this thing like a dozen times a day for a year, and you're like, I can't, please, I can't keep asking myself these sandwich integrity questions. I thought we'd solve them. I didn't, you know, it's when you're suffering from success on Twitch, it's like if you're, and I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. It could be worse, but, you know, if people like I have a conversation you had at one point, enjoy having that conversation, like, for the rest of your life. By the way, can I leave the room? No? There's an enemy. There he is. I see him. I got him. All right. Again, not complaining really, but you know, sometimes you'll have a great bit on Twitch, and then like for the rest of your life, people will be like, "Do the bit. The stream has had 10 seconds of dead air. Hey, interrupt Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to do your impression of Bernie Sanders while she's making inroads with the leader of the NDP on your Among Us stream. It'll be really funny." Yeah, it's like anti-praxis, but at the same time, like, it would be pretty pog. Now, I'm not gonna deny that it would have made for a pog-rich clip, don't get me wrong, but some things are more important than pog, dude. You're not gonna hear me say that too much. But it's true. So, Pog supersedes a lot of things in my life, but not everything. You'd understand if you had a newborn baby you had to take care of. So yeah, is it a sandwich? I don't know. I'm glad I don't get asked whether or not it's a sandwich that much anymore. You know what's nice now? Most of the stuff I get tweeted is actually when there's like a very popular chess meme. Like if a chess meme goes viral elsewhere, usually like maybe 8 to 10 people will tweet me the chess meme, and I go, "Ha ha ha, the horse do be moving pretty weird. You're not wrong." Anyway, yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Perception of time changes as you get older. Oh, I was talking about meaningless debates, yeah. There's very little in chat that makes me roll my eyes harder than, like... I mean, there's a couple of things, like... And again, I've been venting a lot lately. This is not venting. It's more just humorous. I'm not actually upset by this. But, like, Sips and I, we played a bunch of Rocket League, and, you know, we're shooting the breeze while we're playing Rocket League. We're talking about, like, what it means to be a dad and, like, how to reconcile the weirdness of this career, especially as it becomes more, like, mainstream acceptable and still feeling like it's kind of weird because it didn't exist when we were, like, 10 or whatever. And then, like one dude just comes in a chat and is like, "You guys suck at Rocket League." I'm like, I know. I just like, I mean, I guess you just gotta remember that they're like, you know, it's probably like a 12-year-old kid, you hope, or something, but you're just like, man, you just don't understand. Like, everybody's here having a good time. You just pop in and you're like, "Just so you know, you stink at Rocket League." And you're like, "Shut up, dummy. We're talking about Coca-Cola stock. Get out of here, loser. Why are you being such a mean weirdo?" I mean, at least try to concoct some sort of insult that barbs, you know? Like, "Hey, this guy pretends to be an intellectual, but actually he's not as well read as he pretends to be. He's mostly just familiar with the plots of a lot of major novels, but he hasn't actually read the pages themselves." That, I would be like, "Whoa, we gotta ban that guy. That's dangerous rhetoric. He knows too much." When they're just like, "You suck at car soccer," I'm like, "And? Your point is? You spelled 10 words wrong in your 3-word sentence. Nobody's perfect, dude. We all got problems." I think that makes a good sound, and then poop shows up. There's a metaphor for life in there somewhere. "Hey, I can't wait for my Burger King order to get here. Ding dong. Oh boy." Anyway, I'm not a fan of the Burger King, the Hungry Jack. I will do this, so I'm gonna admit something, okay? Went through the McDonald's drive-thru today. Boo, hiss. I know, I should be eating. I had some quinoa last night, okay? Like, that's, I'm not saying they cancel each other out. I am a firm believer that fast food is very bad for you, with a huge asterisk at the end, which is that, like, and I don't know what this says about either my brain or my body, but I was like not feeling kind of like not. I'm trying to think of the right way to describe it. Like emotionally, I was fine. Physically, I just felt kind of off today. Through the morning and the afternoon. The second couple of those McNuggets and the French fries and the Coke Zero hit the bloodstream, I actually feel like $1,000,000. I don't know. I don't know if it's like a psychological thing, because I'm clearly not suggesting that my body is like, ooh, you know, I was like saturated fat deficient today, you know, I needed more saturated fats, but, or maybe I just hadn't consumed like enough salt, even though that seems unlikely, or enough calories, which is actually completely plausible up to that point in the day, believe it or not, but, secondarily, I forgot what I was saying, but well, yeah, I think fast food is kind of it's obviously bad for you, but I do think there's like exceptions, which is not probably what your nutritionist would want you to say. Don't get me wrong. However, I don't know, man. Like after eating it, I hear a lot of people say like they feel worse after they eat fast food. I definitely have times like that. You know, oh my god, this run is like it's Pog City, man. I have days where like if you ever have a day where like you have to eat, and I have to is kind of a strong word, but you find yourself having to eat fast food 2 times in the same day. Like you're like, ooh, do you want to be bad and have McDonald's breakfast? And you do, and then dinner rolls around, and I don't know, like your stove breaks or something like that, and you're like, oh, like, or like somehow you're not eating until like 2 a.m. Like you're driving back from, you know, like you were at like a family thing or something. This happened to us where like, you know, when, again, pre-COVID, you would, like, we'd drive to our in-laws' place in the U.S., and then, like, we'd get McDonald's on the way, because it's like a road trip tradition. It's well known that McDonald's just tastes better in the car, and then, like, by the time we get home, it's like 1 a.m., and we want to eat, like, a real dinner, but the only thing open is fast food drive-thrus. The second one does not hit right. The first one, it's like that tweet about sowing and reaping. That's like when you're sowing, you're like, yes, yes, and then when you're reaping, you're like, what the, this sucks. The first fast food meal is the sowing, and then the second in 24 hours is the reaping, where you're more just like kind of sad that you obviously, like this is a signal of the fact that you didn't plan your day properly. But the first, like, I don't feel bad most of the time I eat fast food. Just to be honest, and maybe the reason I don't feel bad is because and I'm not the bastion of health, especially right now, you know, definitely like not getting enough exercise, and you know, like temporarily my own physical health is on the back burner for a variety of different reasons that you don't want me to say, because it's a 4-letter word that starts with B and ends with AB. But hold on, we can use that once. I gotta tell you, I'm not trying to, you know, be like super pro corporate McDonald's, shovel more garbage into my body, please. But like, after I ate that chicken McNugget combo, man, I'm like over the moon. You can tell, like in the last video, it was still digesting a little bit, and in this video, I'm like, I just got a little bit more energy, even though I do keep losing my train of thought from time to time, which might be symptomatic of also digesting such a meal, but. Like, whenever nutritionists talk about fast food, I'm not necessarily pro fast food. I mean, sometimes when, like, we eat fast food, I would say on average, probably once every 3 weeks. And it's almost always the same meal from McDonald's. But when people eat, like, a lot of fast food, when they're like, oh, this is, like, my 4th time ordering from Wendy's this week, I'm like, okay, we need to have a talk, maybe. If you feel like we should have a talk, we should have a talk. Because if you're like 16, I'm actually like, yo, that's sick, brother. Enjoy those spicy chickens. But if you're like my age, I'm like, we can't do this. We're gonna die. Maybe not like, you know, today, but we're kind of like, we're tempting fate, you know? But most of the time when I finish eating fast food, I actually like feel good. And I don't mean like it doesn't like temporarily erase like misery. I mean like it makes my body feel good. That's a scary thought, man. I mean, I feel like pretty good after I eat anything, just to be clear. Maybe it is psychological. I'm like, pog, food, as long as it's not poison. Or mushrooms, ew. Anyway, we're doing super well. Got a lot of HP. Everything's going extremely well. And we're gonna get to 12 wins in a row. 12, maybe 13 wins in a row. Feels weird, dude. This is like the first time I've recorded 3 Isaac episodes in a day in like 2 weeks. It's a little strange. Like Mark said in the room, people are very strange these days. These are Mark's words, which are Tommy Wiseau's words, not mine. Every year that goes by, when I think about the room, this scene becomes a little bit more surreal to me. Greg Sestero, as Mark says, I used to know a girl. She had a dozen guys. One day, one of them found out, beat her up so bad she ended up in a hospital down on Guerrero Street. Appropriate response to that? Yo, Mark, that's pretty messed up. Tommy Wiseau's response as Johnny? Haha, what a story, Mark. Not the kind of thing that you respond to with amused kind of bewilderment, you know? Like, what an appropriate story. Really the kind of thing you should be like, yo, well, anyway. Also love that that's... I mean, how many video essays have been done, right? About, like, the absurdity of the room. But, like, I do love that that's... that's Tommy Wiseau's example of people are very strange these days. This is an incident of genuine assault and battery. We'll take the mind here. Anyway, I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers. I don't know if it's controversial. I feel like The Room, not a good movie. Which is the reason why you even know it exists. But anyway. Moving on. I think it's worth our time here. Let's see, I got a tweet. A tweet just rolled in. Oh, it's okay. So I made a tweet yesterday. This is not going to be an investing bit, but I made a tweet yesterday about how investing YouTube is kind of like the funniest community on YouTube to me, because there's like SEC regulations in the US where you're not allowed to give stock advice unless you're a licensed stock professional. What that leads to is people will make YouTube videos, and like the first, I don't know, 30 seconds of the YouTube video will be like an on-screen disclaimer that's like, you know, this is intended for recreational purposes and entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed financial professional. I am not licensed to sell financial instruments, and like so on and so forth. And then the video will be like, what's up guys, it's your boy Tesla YOLO here. Here I got an exciting video for you today. 3 stocks you absolutely must buy today. You know, and it's just humorous is all I'm saying. It's like, you know, it's like the grown-up version of like when people would put like Linkin Park music on top of Dragon Ball Z footage and be like, no copyright infringement detected. It's like, this is for recreational purposes only. Wink, wink. By the way, you know, I just put 10 grand into this stock that's 80 cents a share. Last chance to get in on this stop. Choo choo! It's the YOLO profit train is leaving the station. Rocket ship emoji for entertainment purposes only. This is not intended as financial advice. If you don't buy this right now, you're stupid. You hate money. You know, like, anyway. And this is like, you know, it sucks being so smart. That's a joke. But I mean, I imagine it does suck to be smart, but I haven't had to worry about that yet. Let's just say. But either way, what was I gonna say? Oh, it sucks to know what's gonna happen inevitably on YouTube, like, because this always happens. There'll be some kind of controversy where like some scumbag will pump a stock that somebody will lose their life savings to, and then they'll try to sue YouTube, and then from that point onwards, anytime I try to upload a YouTube video, I'll have to click a button that's like, no, this video doesn't contain any stock tips. Like, I already have to, every time I upload a video, I gotta click a little button that's like, no children under the age of 18 are getting pranked in this video by neglectful parents, I promise you. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, it's just Isaac again. They're like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know why you keep changing that checkbox. Don't know why you keep changing the checkbox around. Me. Promise you. YouTube's like, you sure though, right? Because the algorithm determined you said the word baby in this video 22 times. You sure this isn't a video where you like prank your baby? Baby doesn't get dinner prank. You're like, no, that was that one family on YouTube. They got in like a lot of trouble for that. I've never made videos like that. Why am I being punished because of the fact that, you know, some bad actors use your platform? And they're like, what, Google DeepMind determined you use the baby with the highest ratio of words, and then now I've said prank as well, and it's anyway, it's basically being a YouTuber is like the hardest job in the world is what I'm trying to get you to take away from that. It's so difficult, and people will just pop into your chat and be like, you suck at Rocket League, and you gotta be like, oh, come on, man. And then you look at their username, and you're like, what, Shroud? Come on. That was so rude. Shroud didn't come into my chat and say, you suck at Rocket League. He stopped coming into my chat once he realized how bad I was at PUBG. Yeah, and I hate that. Look, and I guess have to is kind of a strong word. And this is, again, it's more just making a joke than venting. But, like, every once in a while you do have to clarify that, like, obvious jokes are obvious. Because, you know, there's, like, 0.02% of people that just kind of, like, you know, they just miss it. Yo, now we're talking. Eden's Blessing. But, like, somebody made a post on the subreddit that was like, why hasn't Bear been on the NLSS lately? I remember, like, a couple of years ago, he made a twit longer that was like, I don't like doing the stream with NL because he always makes the stream about him. And I was like, yeah, he did make that twit longer. It was like an obvious joke. But it's like it enters into different people's brains differently, and then it gets stored and kind of rots over the course of 2 years, and they're like, I don't know if this happened or if I dreamed it, but I'm pretty sure Bear hates NL. Not to mention, he's on the NLSS like 3 times a month. Anyway. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps me out a great deal. Of course, subscribe. I hope everybody's doing okay out there, and I'll see you tomorrow. See ya!